Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're checking out the new Radiolink T16D transmitter. In this video we're going to get it unboxed and I'm going to give you my first impressions of the transmitter. We're going to take a look at some of the functionality that's built in. So let's make a start. So if we just start off and have a look at what this transmitter retails at, and just a very quick search on the internet, and you can see there's prices around the kind of £120 mark. eBay, I wouldn't shop from there unless it's brand new. 116, 121, 100, 133, 120, so around the £120 mark. So this makes it a pretty cheap transmitter, which has 16 channel support. So let's have a look at what is supported. So if we go directly to the Radiolink website and go to the T16D, let's have a look see what they've got to say about it. So 16 fully proportional channels, looking good. Long range module supported, so that's what that clip is at the back, which we'll see shortly. User defined voice broadcast pack, not too sure what that means at the moment, but let's check that out. Free RTOS plus LVGL GUI, that'd be the operating system. Multiple languages, great. 16 fully proportional channels, which we've just seen. 100 group model storage, which I guess is more than enough for many people. 16 groups of models, subsidiary ID storage, let's check out what that means. And then of course it's bundled with a receiver as well, so receiver R16F, so around £120 with a receiver and 16 channel support. So it looks like it's supported for all types of radio controlled, from helicopters to fixed wings to drones to vehicles, boats, and that even looks like a lawnmower on the right hand side. So basically you can use this for absolutely anything. So Radiolink remote controls are widely used in robotics, automotive, security and other fields. T16D has upgraded and optimized the original communication technology, improving the response speed and fault tolerance rate. 4,000 meters of control distance, 3 milliseconds response time, a resolution of 4096. So let's read more about this free RTOS. Mainstream operating systems maintain a trailblazing position through constant research and development investment. So the mainstream embedded system, free RTOS, can synchronize with the latest needs anytime and provide unlimited upgrades, plus the LVGL GUI. It realizes a colorful and responsive user interface compared with the current CO system in open source high-end remote controls that have stopped updating. Free RTOS is more powerful and efficient. It can embody high resource processors, effects on low-end resource processors, achieving the perfect combination of performance and price. Now, I've got a few things to say about that, but I'll come back to that shortly. Supports ELRS, Crossfire and other mainstream long-range modules. Oh, that's really good. That is really good. I guess some of the drone guys will definitely appreciate that. Crossfire Nano, TBS Crossfire TX, Beta FPV, ELRS Nano TX, and the ELRS Micro TX as well. Just clip onto the back. I've not seen that before, and I actually like that. That's good. Just means that transmitters can do more. Unique, personalized and humanized voice broadcast customization. Racing drone field, you are the coolest. The unique user-defined voice, personalized and humanized voice broadcasts, voice broadcast language, broadcast form and broadcast content can be customized according to an actual user needs. Definitely be interested to see how that works. We're getting a bit technical now, but let's have a look at this anyway for those of you that are interested. 12 kilobytes of RAM, 288 megahertz base frequency memory, 2.8 inches of the screen running at a resolution of 240 by 320, 16 colors. The operating system we already mentioned. Same level of appearance, throttle joysticks and gimbals of RC8X with 8 switches and 4 knobs. The user experience is uncompromised from electronics to construction. 16 channels respond simultaneously in 3 microseconds, providing accurate response without delay. Okay, I'm not going to go into that. All looks very impressive. 32 groups of programmable mix control. Unleash a full potential of your excavator. So this is where the transmitter can do more than just fixed wing. Obviously I'm looking at it from a plane point of view, but obviously it's very configurable by the looks of it, but because you can group different program or different functions. I guess that's, in my world, that's probably like flight conditions is what I'm used to on Futaba, but different lots of functions. So with 32 groups of programmable mixer control, seamlessly control multi-function operations, including oil pumps, hydraulics, chainsaws, buckets, and sound modules, and indicators, lights to meet all your excavator simulation needs. That's really interesting. Joe, I do fancy an excavator. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I just really fancy an excavator at some point, and also fancy a tank. Guys, let me know down below your thoughts on that. Should I at some stage get on these, like, I mean, they are really, really clever, and I'm really interested in building one, but should I get an excavator at some point? Or should I get a tank first? Or should I just not bother? Let me know your thoughts. Are you sort of tempted to the dark side? So I've been watching a lot of Star Wars recently. Built-in simulator functionality, cool, we like that. Beyond traditional simulators like Phoenix, the T16D features built-in simulator support. Requires a firmware upgrade, that's fine. We'll probably do the firmware upgrade in a separate video. With no extra dongle needed, connect to your computer via Type-C cable, which is supplied, to support open source simulators such as TRYP, FPV, Aerofly, Uncrashed, and Liftoff, compatible with macOS, that's Apple, and Windows systems from Microsoft. That is cool. It's cool that you can just plug that cable straight in. You don't need any different dongle or adapter, what have you, because some of the older simulator programs, you do need special adapters before you can actually plug your transmitter in. I probably won't look at simulator functionality in this particular video, but again, if you guys want me to do a separate video just with this transmitter and having a look at all these different simulators they list here, I can do that. Just let me know down below in the comments, but if you don't comment, I won't do it. Traditional trainer function, connect the two together, that's pretty cool. Do like that, definitely encourage that. Power supply by mobile power bank as well. That's pretty cool as well, I've never seen that. So if your transmitter is getting low, you can just plug in a typical mobile power bank, which you may use for your phone, straight into that USB-C port, and it will work. Okay, so they talk here a bit more about the design and the switches. 4 2-position switches, 3 3-position switches, 2 dials, 2 sliders, which can go back to center automatically, a trainer switch, plus it's been designed to fit a wide range of pilot needs. User-friendly design for operation and handling makes T16D become an excellent transmitter for recreation, competition, or 3D aerobatics. And then we're just looking here, there's the trainer function. Port, there's the VR knobs, battery compartment at the back. Memory expansion port comes with a 4G TF card. Speaker for voice, long range module bay at the back. Firmware upgrade. There's a lot of information on the website. I do like that. I do like when the manufacturers go and put extra details on there. Otherwise, how else do you know? They've kind of gone above and beyond, and I like all these graphics and the videos that they've got here. User defined 100 fishing spot. What is this? At the bait boat model, the latitude and longitude of the 100 fishing spots can be saved on the T16D. Each of the fishing spots can be self-named by the anglers, so anglers no longer need to think about where the fishing spot is based on the fishing spot number and easy access to their favourite fishing locations. This is completely new to me. I've never seen anything like this before. I'm just watching the screen here. So putting in a fishing spot there, I believe. Has it got GPS built in then? Will it tell you if your boat, I guess your boat's got GPS module in there, it might tell you if you're near that. Is that the idea behind that? Not too sure. Probably won't explore that on this video. Multiple languages, we expect that and we like that. Full models with full functions. So helicopters, fixed wing, gliders, multi-rotors, racing drones, football drones, engineering vehicles, racing boats, robots, lawnmowers, bait boats. That's probably what they're talking about with the fishing locations, bait boats, mechs, and other models on the market. I mean, I think that just about covers absolutely everything. But it looks like I mean, anybody could say that their transmitter can support these devices, but it looks like they built in specific functions, like the grouping for the excavators, like the bait, boats, what was it called, fishing spot. So it does look like they've actually built in extra stuff for this, which I like. It's cool. I'm a software guy, I appreciate that. T16D is packed with 16 channel receiver, also compatible with a 12 channel receiver and 8 channel receivers and the 4 channel mini receivers, and there's all the different receivers that are available on the screen there at the time of this video. And then your different receivers for different types, obviously super small ones for racing drones, cars and boats, gliders, robotic lawnmowers, and helicopter and fixed wing. So nicely grouped. Yeah, great job on the website, guys. Oh, what's this? Oh, I like this, because I think a lot of people forget to do this. So this is basically showing you how you can upgrade the software on your receiver. And I've got a big thing about this, guys, because I'm always going on about people should upgrade the software on the transmitters, but you should also upgrade the software on other bits. At the end of the day, software is written by people. People make mistakes and it can have bugs and issues in it. And also by upgrading it and keeping it up to date all the time, you may get new functionality released by that manufacturer. So this looks like it's super easy to do. You just plug in a USB to USB-C cable directly into the receiver here, and then probably run some software to get it updated. So we will do a separate video on updating receivers and updating the transmitter. Real-time latitude and longitude, distance heading and other information telemetry. The receiver has built-in data transmission function. Nice, I like this. The remote control is a 2.8-inch colour screen, rich display information such as the name of the fishing spots, the power of the transmitter, receiver and bait boat, the distance meter between the shore and the fishing spots, the number of GPS satellite received, etc. display on the transmitter screen. Now that is pretty cool. Let's have a look here. I've got satellites down here. Driving and setting. This all looks pretty cool. Yeah, I like that. I like they've just gone out of the way to build an extra functionality there, and the receiver can transmit GPS location. Okay, navigation, reminder, parameter setting menu, humanized and easy to operate. Okay, we'll have a look at that. So I have got a big thing about user interfaces and what makes transmitters easy to use, which I will go into more detail on. Programmable mix control cascade function. All 16 channels can be programmed to any settings. Multiple mixing controls can be cascaded infinitely to achieve one switch controlling any number of channels. I like the sound of that. T16D. I mean, for some of you that might sound complicated at the moment, and what does that actually mean? But for me, I think that's just like grouping a whole bunch of different functions that the transmitter can offer back to a single switch, which could be useful. So I guess in my world of fixed wing, that could be a case of I flick a switch, the retract doors slowly come down, the flaps slowly deploy, and then the retract wheels deploy as well, and maybe the landing light comes on. So you've got what, 4 or 5 different functions there, all being operated off of one switch. Reverse polarity protection circuit. So here we go. T16D is easily adapted for various battery layouts with wide operating voltage tolerance. 8 AA batteries, or a 2S to 4S LiPo, or an 18650 lithium battery, or powered by a computer or mobile power bank connected via Type-C. I might actually do that. I've got a power bank lying around here. Universal JST connector with the voltage protection software Radiolink ensures vital components are protected from reverse polarity. That basically means that if you're plugging in this 8-piece, so it comes with a harness which basically takes these 8 AA batteries. If you plug it in the wrong way around, it's not going to damage the transmitter. It's going to still carry on working, and there's a little video clip to say there. Pay attention if you use the lithium power to make sure that the lithium is with a JST connector and the dimensions fit. And here's some battery life information, which I think we all care about as well. Obviously it will depend on what battery you've got in there, but let's see what they say here. Switching mode power supply SMPS makes operating average of the T16D only 100 milliamps at 8.4 VDC, all very technical. It consumes 50% less power than similar products. That's a big claim, 50% less power than similar products, I guess, on the market. The transmitter can operate for 12 hours with an 1800 milliamp LiPo battery. That's a long time. That is a long time. Really useful if you're doing setup, models on the bench, so on and so forth, because you could easily be on for 2 or 3 hours, but also useful if you're out using it as well. I mean, I definitely like to keep an eye on what's going on with my transmitter battery. Right, what's down here? Output RSSI value from the receiver to FPV monitor, real-time RSSI telemetry when racing. That is awesome. Maybe this does serve a separate video on looking into this telemetry data. Beta flight information, that looks cool. What is that? Sorry, just geeking out here, guys, because being a bit of a software guy. Feel free to skip ahead. Right, so I'll come, perhaps, if you want a separate video on me playing around with telemetry data and seeing what we can get out of it and looking at beta flight, as well as a separate video to the simulators as well as a separate video on the upgrading, let me know down below, please. Just put a comment in there. Otherwise, I won't do those. Okay, and then there's all the social links, and this was included in there. So the transmitter, the receiver does come with it, the TF card, engine voltage telemetry connection cable. That's cool, that's included. Crossflight 1 cable. No, what's this? R16F to TELEM1, R16, channel 16 to RC in. Basically a whole bunch of cables included in the box, which I kind of like. Got a lanyard, so neck strap, hook and spring, so you can make the throttle stick, if you like, spring loaded, because it's not by default out of the box. And again, if you want a video on how to take the transmitter apart and how to install that hook and spring, let me know down below and I'll create one for you. More than happy to work that out and share it with you guys. User manual, and of course a carrying bag as well. Right, so really good website. I'm impressed with the website. I generally am. I like the level of detail on there. I always go and have a look at what the manufacturer displays directly from the manufacturer rather than from a third-party shop or store. I go straight to the manufacturer website and have a good look, because if they're not putting the effort in to present everything, then nobody else is going to either. But I'm impressed with this, so well done, Radiolink on there. Just have a quick look as well. It's got specs, certificates, firmware, manuals, video, and FAQs. Let's have a quick look at the firmware. So this is where you'd go to download and upgrade everything. I like the fact as well that they've included it for Windows and also for Apple. And there's a bunch of manufacturers that just exclude Apple, which really gets on my nerves because I am an Apple Mac guy. Yes, I'm using Windows at the moment to show you guys, but my main video editing machine upstairs that I use every day is a Mac. So they've got software for Mac, which is good. Well done, guys. So how to upgrade, and here's a YouTube tutorial, which is good. And there's the latest upgrade file, which looks like at this time it is v1.71. It might be more than that actually. I'll have a look at that when we do that video. A whole bunch of instructions there with videos, which is good. Does it tell you what's new though? No, so I think my feedback for Radiolink, and we're jumping ahead slightly because this isn't the upgrade video, is I want to know what you've introduced. Oh, here we go. Oh, it does list it. Built-in gamepad. Yeah, okay, so look, I'm not going to go over this now, but they have actually listed all the extra bits that are included in the software update, which again, I really like that. I like that transparency. I want to know if there's issues being fixed. I want to know if you're introducing new functionality, so I can then go and have a look at that functionality and see if I can use it in my hobby world. Right, I think that's enough of that. He says, clicking onto the manual, nice online manual, lovely. And again, guys, I always encourage you to go and check the online manual, because the online manual is more likely to be always up to date, whereas the printed manual, you don't actually know, do you? The printed manual could have been printed a year ago and could already be out of date. So go and check out the online one as well. Okay, right, back to me. Okay, so I've not opened this yet, I've not even had a look at it. So it comes in a case, which is the first thing you can see. So this case was basically just inside a cardboard box when it's delivered, and you get a carry case with it, which I think is always nice. It's always better to have your transmitters protected than just leave them out to elements. Let's have a full look inside. The case has a pouch on one side. I'll give you guys a close-up in just a moment. Have some paperwork. Just put it to one side for a minute. A printed instruction manual, which I will be looking at. I'm hoping there's like a quick start guide in here, so we'll check that out in just a moment. And inside the case, so we currently have. Just open up the boxes first. So what we've got in here. Okay, so a receiver. So that's the Radiolink R16F receiver. I will have to check to see whether this transmitter comes with a receiver or whether they've just sent me one of these for the review. So I'll double check that in just a moment and pop that up on the screen for you. I have a neck strap. So there's an additional hook and spring there if you want the throttle stick to be self-centered. Depending on, of course, what you're planning to do with the transmitter. Some interesting cables, USB-C or USB to USB-C, and some other cables in there. We will open those up in a moment. I'm keen to actually get to the point where we're actually going to look at the transmitter, so just whizzing through the boxes. So that's box one, and let's have a look in the other box. It's also got stuff in it, nicely packaged. And this is the strap for the carry case itself. Great, that's included. And here we go. So here is the transmitter, all nicely protected in polythene. Let's get that open. It actually looks quite nice. So, first impressions for turning it on. Weight's reasonable. Screen has a protector. I'll give you a close up in just a moment. I always see if I can get my fingers between these two switches because a lot of people complain about this. Gap's a little bit small there. We'll have a measure on that one. Wheels at the back. Give you guys a close look. So anodized sticks, they will be adjustable. They are just screw the top section apart, then bring the lower section up to it, same as most transmitters. I'll leave those down for a moment. You've got the wheel on the right hand side, which is a wheel to select and also a push button in the middle. And then you have a mode button and an end button on the left, 16 channels. And then the screen, this little red tab here is for the screen protector, which you can pull off. Digital trims, it's kind of what you expect nowadays. Smooth dials. You've got 2-stage switches as well as 3-stage switches. And the spring-loaded switch at the bottom. Just looking at their simulator connector, USB-C connector. And then you have your wheels on the back, which are also, they're spring loaded. That's interesting. I've not actually seen that before. VRC spring loaded. Okay, I'll have to look into that. So it's like a connector there. So I'll take a look and see what that is. I appreciate it's a bit dark on the screen. Let's have a look under here. and then out of the box it comes with one of these trays, if you like, which you can put in AA batteries, or I suspect you can just go and put a LiPo in the back of it. Again, we'll check out what it is compatible with. Let's pop that back in. And let's go and find some batteries so we can get it powered up. Okay, so I've managed to find some batteries. Didn't actually have any in the house, so I had to pause the video, but it doesn't matter. I've got some now. Good old trusty Amazon Basic to the rescue. So 8 AA's just for the purpose of this video. To be honest with you, if I was using this for a flying vehicle, sounds wrong. If I was using this for something that flies, that's in the air, I probably wouldn't use, I definitely wouldn't use AA batteries. I'd use a LiPo instead. If I was using something on the ground that's less likely to get out of control, I'll be quite happy with that. That's just a personal preference. But the fact that you can use both, I actually really like. So here we go. Let's power up together for the first time.
Welcome to Radiolink.
And there we go. That is the user interface. So that was a long press on that middle button.
Welcome to Radiolink.
And there's a speech for the first time as well. So let's get this on the bench and have a little look around the user interface. Actually, before we dive onto the bench and talk about or have a look at the software, which is what we're going to do next. We've had a good look at the transmitter so far via the website, which you guys could definitely go and do. The link will be down below. I just want to have a little, not rant the right word? Well, I want to give you my view on why I think most people stay to the same make of transmitters and what's important to me when I'm looking at a transmitter other than the hardware itself. And it is, of course, the software that's on the transmitter. That's what's important to me. How easy is it to use the software? Does it make sense? Can I get this up and running quickly, programmed? And does it have enough functionality for me to use on my radio controlled aircraft in this case, or vehicle, or tank, or whatever it may be? So that's what I want in the software. I want something that's easy to use. That's often referred to as a user experience, how easy is it to experience software, how easy is it to get through the menu system. And you also have the design of the software as well, the look and the feel of it, the graphics of the software, but I'm more interested in the experience. So that's, on broad terms, that's basically what that both means. So I'm interested to find out when we dive into this, how easy is it to use? Is it intuitive? And that's why I think most people stick to what they know. Because for example, if you're used to using a different make, say Futaba, and you know all the bits are in the menu system, you know how to put in a sub trim, you know how to reverse a servo, you're probably going to stick to that because that's what you know. A lot of people don't like making the leap to something different. So what you want in a new transmitter is something that's easy to pick up and just configure. So let's check that out. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see that okay. I've just propped the transmitter up very slightly at the back just so the screen's not glaring off the lights. But let's first of all have a look around the screen and see what makes sense. So in the top left we've got the model name, model_01. And again, I've just turned this on for the first time. I've not gone through any menus yet. We've got the strength of the signal, I believe that is. We've got the voltage of the transmitter, fluctuating there between 12.1 and 12.2 volts, running off those 8 AA batteries. We're on fixed wing at the moment. We've seen all the different model types that this can do. So it'll be interesting the different symbols we get here, but that's a nice indicator there. Got 2 different timers. It's not touchscreen, in case anyone is asking. Got some other information down here, RSSI, null, RXV, which would be receiver voltage, and external voltage, both null as well. Just be clear, there's no receiver on at the moment. The receiver is still sat here. We'll do that in just a moment. If we turn this dial here, we can start going through different things on the screen. I can see a small padlock at the bottom, which means the screen's currently locked. So you can't accidentally, I don't think, you can set that. I don't think you can go into, oh no you can, maybe I've unlocked it, let's have a look. Oh yeah, so there we go. So there you go, it's locked now because it's flashing red. So I can't knock the buttons, nothing's changing. That one still works, the monitor and the information, but you can't knock the dial. Long push and it unlocks it. Again, I'm working this out with you guys at the same time. On the right hand side here, you have the trim, which in my case will be for elevator. Up to 100 there. So you can see the visual indication, as well as a beep when we hit center back to 0. Ailerons for me on the mode that I fly. And of course you've got rider trim and throttle here, so that's all around the outside. Mode is normal. I guess for me that's like flight conditions possibly. We can change different modes by flicking switches. And then that's all there is on the main screen. So let's have a look in the menus because we want to see how easy this is to use. What should I press? Let's press mode. Main menu, general settings. Use the wheel to turn around, advanced settings, receiver settings. Okay, so 4 options there. Again, I'm not going to go into every single setting, but we're just going to see what the feel is like. Does it make sense? We've got a monitor. I do like that. That'd be a servo monitor, so as you're moving sticks, you can see what's going on. Nothing new there, but it's switches as well. That's what we'd expect. And we're going to go end to come out of that. That makes sense. Reverse will be servo reverse. So again, use a dial to go through to your channel you want to reverse. Channel 3 is normally throttle. Hit the button and reverse it. It tells you if it's normal or reverse. So normal on the left, reversed on the right. It's a little bit out of focus, but hopefully you guys can see that. Let's actually just zoom in a little bit more on the screen itself because that's what we're talking about. There we go. Hopefully that's a bit better for you. Hit end to come out of reverse. Endpoints, again, makes sense. We should all be used to endpoints. If you're not, that's how far the servo is going to travel. You can't see my hand here, but how far the servo will travel on the arm. And I will plug some servos in shortly. So we can scroll through 2 pages at the top. Yep, there's all the other channels, all the way up to 16 channels, you can see. Quite a small font on this screen. That's one observation, a really small font, but that's because it is a fairly small screen compared to some transmitters, but then I'm referring to like higher end transmitters that have the bigger screen. You've got to remember, this is retailing at around £100, 120 I think we said earlier. So we flick through different pages and then we can go to the different channels just by using that wheel. That works rather well. And there we go, we can start adjusting. So I've just set that at 104, let's turn that back to 100. Come out of endpoints. Channel speed, sometimes also called servo speed. So it looks like you can start 2 pages at the top as well for all the 16 channels. So pagination is done quite nicely there. Switch, do you want to assign it to a switch? Yes or no? Is the state inhibited or just on? And then what channels do you want to start slowing down? Let's see how far that goes actually. 10 perhaps? 12. 0 to 12. I'm not quite sure why it's to 12, but perhaps we'll play with that as well. And auxiliary channel, some settings there as to which you want us to assign, I believe. So these are VRA, VRC, VRB, SWA, SWB. So assigning your different channel numbers to the switch, the physical hardware switch on the transmitter. I'm happy with that, makes sense. Trims, I know that as sub trims. So you can sub trim it out first rather than using your digital trim here. That's what I normally do on a model setup. I normally get the servo heads as accurate as possible, turn the model on, then do a little bit of sub trim, and then I'll fly it and trim it off the main trims once I'm flying. Program mixes, and they made a big thing about this on the website. 8 different types of mixes available there, or mixing slots. Pagination at the top again, 2 pages. Master slave link trim, not too sure on that at the moment. Again, first time I've looked at this. Type X VTR CRV, not going into that at the moment. Normal reverse rate offset. And then we've got our kind of our graph here from when or around our graph here, when we start applying these different rates, you'll see the graph change on the mix. Normally you have like a master channel and a slave channel that you might be mixing together. Switch audio. So that's potentially assigning different, let's see if I can find a different switch, VRA. Different sounds to different switches basically. SWA up, what sound you want, you'd come down here and then you'll select some of these preset sounds. So they're just WAV files, but it's WAV, it's a type of sound file off a computer. Fixed height mode, fixed point mode. KT Sky Monsters, what's that? Gear close, land gear open, manual mode, self-stabilizing, throw in, throw start. There seems to be a bunch there. I know what that is. I'm going to set one of those and probably just play randomly in a minute while I'm talking. We'll find out. Sensor broadcast. I'm not sure what that is, but this is the first time we've seen some scrolling text on the user interface that I was explaining earlier on. So when the text is too long, they've just chosen to bounce it. It's a bounce effect back and left and right. So you can see what it says. So signal strength broadcast. Okay, so that's interesting. So that's part of the user experience that I was talking about. Let's come out of that. Let's come out of general settings. So that was a quick look at general settings. We've got a whole bunch of advanced settings to type. There's all our different radio control types. So from fixed wings, drones, helicopters, land vehicles, boats, cranes, tanks and cranes perhaps, and robotics, perhaps that one stands for. So I won't change the type at the moment, so I don't want to get a receiver in there. So actually let's change the type and see if the menu changes. Helicopter mode. No, I'm going to put that back because I want to do something else in a minute. So flight mode there, switches, signed flight mode. So this is like conditions, what I'm used to from my manufacturer at the moment. A whole bunch of advanced settings there in the advanced menu. So that is conditions there. Rate curve. So sometimes we struggle when we change different makes is to learn the different terminology. A lot of the terminology is common, like type, flight modes, trims, conditions, but sometimes some manufacturers use slightly different kind of terminology. Rates and curves are familiar. Throttle curve there, throttle hold and V-tail. Let's have a look what's in transmitter settings. There's all your model memory, 10, 20, 30, 40, so there's going to be 100 different model slots there. We're on model 1 at the moment, so we can see it at the top left-hand side of the screen. System settings, English, key alarm, volume, sounds, vibration intensity, stick mode. We're flying mode 2, nice, and there's a calibration option there as well, so telling you what's currently configured. Channel 4 rudder, channel 3 throttle, 2 elevator, 1 aileron. Trainer mode. I do like having a trainer mode, all about encouraging more people into the hobby. Timers, a nice safe way to learn how to do your hobby. Switch settings. Okay, so you can actually configure whether the switch is a two position switch or a 3-position switch as well. That's nice. Boot settings, you can turn off that boot animation. So when it boots up, you saw it say Radiolink and it's speech as well. I don't mind that, doesn't bother me, I'd leave it on. Themes, I like this. Let's change colours. So now it's a blue theme, there's a bunch of 2 pages of different colours, or 1 page different colours, and then you can customise it slightly further as well. So you're probably thinking, what is the point in that? You know, I'll change it once, but you know, maybe you're slightly visually impaired, and maybe the background colour here isn't working for you with the foreground colour for the fonts. You'd come in here and you could change that. So that is about user ability, it's about the user experience, and I actually think that I like that's built in. Just give you more, you know, we expect that on mobile phones, we expect that on our computers, and now having it on your transmitter, which is basically a small computer, isn't it, is actually a good thing. About Radiolink.com, hardware version and software version. So this is where we'll just double check what our transmitter's on. So we saw from the website, there's a newer version, I think it was version 1.7.1 from memory. I'd have to go and have a look later on. So we know we can update this. So it's got a hardware version and a software version on it as well. We'll give the device a name, T16D is fine with me. We can reset the system settings, or we can do a factory reset. And then finally, on the menu, RF settings for the receiver, sensor, and failsafe as well. So that was like a sub menu, if you like. So here we've got lots of bouncing text. Now when I first look at that, I'm thinking, what's going on? All this text is bouncing about. But again, that's just where it's a small screen. So there's not much real estate on the screen. So they're just bouncing the text backwards and forwards so you can have a chance to read it rather than just truncating the text and leaving you to work out what the word actually means. So module selection, protocol, servo speed, sub ID enabled, yes, no, subsidiary ID, ID 01, and then you've got some scrolling text down the bottom here. FHSS-V2 based on the addition of the Nest boot function. Don't worry if you don't know what that means. I don't at the moment either. But we'll work it out. Okay, I'm going to start changing stuff because I want this to work when I actually plug it in. Let's end that. Quick look in sensor. Alarm sensors there by looks of it. Voltage alarm, low voltage alarm for transmitters, and traditional fail-safe, what do you want to happen if you were to lose signal with your vehicle. So that's all that's in the main menu. It all looks very different now, doesn't it, in blue? Quite like it. But come out and press mode. No, press end. That's a quick button to get to the monitor. So you can quickly see what's going on when you wiggle to make sure that the transmitter is sending out a signal on the appropriate channels, which is good if they're configured. And let's end that, see what happens. Oh, there we go. What's this? So press end on that screen, I went to longitude, latitude. Pressed end of that screen, I went to this one. Longitude, latitude. Is that pitch? It is pitch, isn't it, with a missing H. Roll your speed, RSSI, external volume, latitude, altitude, and GPS. So I'm going to plug a receiver in a minute and we'll see if we get some data back to the transmitter on this particular screen. Come out of that, press the mode, push one over it, no. So I think I've pressed everything. So let's come back to me and let me give you some thoughts on the software. Okay, so I feel like we're learning quite a lot about this transmitter together. So I just thought I'd give you a couple of thoughts on the software first, and then the hardware, and then really just summarize my kind of first impressions on this, and we'll conclude there because I think this video is already about 30 minutes long, which is quite lengthy. We will do follow-up ones if you want to know more about this transmitter, a particular function on it, or some of the stuff I've covered already, you know, like updating the software, doing the flight simulators or other bits. Just let me know down below in the comments, please. Okay guys, so look, don't judge me on this little mock-up here, but what I've just done is plugged in a receiver that comes with it very quick, the R16F version 1.1. Plugged in a bunch of servos, not all of them as you can see, and just a battery directly into the receiver. It's as simple as that, just to see if things work and what data we get back on the transmitter, if any. Nothing more scientific than that. So don't judge me on the piece of cardboard here. When I was visiting Perkins the other day, Paul Bardot very kindly said he might send me a miniature aircraft which I can just put all the servos on. So I'm waiting to see if that comes through, and then we'll use that next time around. But anyway, do things work? So just plugging it in. Yes, things do work, which is great. And what have I got back on the transmitter? Let's hold that up for you guys. So we've got the RSSI coming through, we've got the RX voltage, received voltage there, which is 7.5, obviously no other external voltage because nothing else is plugged in. And what have we got in here? Servo monitor. Well, that was working before anyway, because it's a monitor rather than a servo monitor. And let's press that again. No data coming through as far as latitude, longitude, etc., etc. Probably something to do with the receiver, but I'll research that for next time round. Either it's not supported or it can't get signal inside my workshop. But there we go, just a very quick setup with the receiver. Again, we can do more on this next time around if you want to find out more about it. I probably should do more about the receiver because it's great. Again, I think it's great they've included the receiver. £120-ish, can get it lower than that, did see it for around 100 with a receiver. Nice one. So to now conclude, for the money, I'm giving this a thumbs up. I actually like it. I'm actually quietly impressed of A, you get a receiver for it, the functionality and the thought process and how flexible they're trying to make this transmitter. So basically it's open to a much wider market than just say helicopters or just say fixed wing. Now, is it trying to be a jack of all trades and a master of none? I don't think so from what we've read on the website. I don't think so from what we've seen from the user experience, but we won't really know until I get this in an aircraft and start playing a bit more and more. So guys, we're going to do this based on what you want, okay? I'm going to stop this video series here. I will do the software update one because I promised Radiolink that I would do that for them. But if you want any other videos on this transmitter or the receiver or any other components that Radiolink currently offer, let me know. I'll contact them and try and get it, and I'll do the video for you. Again, if you want a deep dive, it's been a long week. Actually, it's been a really long month. It's been a long year so far. It's not been a very productive year, but that's another conversation. I digress. Point is, if you want me to deep dive in anything, let me know, and I'll go out of my way to try and make that video for you next. Hope it's been useful. It's been long. Please like and subscribe. As always, it helps me and encourages me to do more videos for you guys and helps the channel grow. And it means that I make a tiny little bit of money from the content that's out there on YouTube. Cheers guys, see you next time around.